In this video, we are going to discuss the isometric views as well as projection of spheres. This topic can be generally termed as isometrics of spheres. A sphere is just a figure that you are seeing often in nowadays. For example, a cricket ball that you see, or a snooker ball that you see, or an apple or an orange. These items that you see represent a sphere. So, if you are looking over to a cricket ball, in the front view you are seeing a circle, whereas in the top view also you are seeing a circle. I hope that the views of the spheres are being clear. So, front view as well as top view of a sphere is always a circle. So, considering the isometric views as well as projection of spheres, there are different ways by which we are drawing. So, firstly we are considering the isometric view of a sphere. Okay. So, here you can see the isometric view of a sphere. So, if this is a figure and in the top of a cylinder you are planning to place a circle, or you are planning to place a sphere, So, how we are going to draw in the case of isometric view? So, if you are asked to draw the isometric view of a sphere that is placed centrally over a cylinder, from this central line you can see an AB line. This AB line represents the central line of the cylinder that you have placed below the sphere. Okay. So, whichever is the object that is being placed on the base, the center of that object represents the line AB. Okay. So, in this figure the AB represents this line, AB represents this central line. So, if it is a cube, the central line of the cube; if it is a cylinder, the central line of the top face of the cylinder, top face is a central line. Okay. So, later after from that central line you have to take a distance that is being stated by R, where R represents the radius of the sphere that is being placed on the top of the cylinder. So, from that point, okay, so this is the central line. From the central line you have to, this point means that this point represents the central line of the line AB. You have to take the central line of the line AB, and from that point you have to take the distance R, and from after taking the distance R you have to take a value that is being taken by multiplying the radius value with 0.816. Okay. And then we have to complete drawing the circle by using the compass. Okay. So, this is how the methodology of drawing isometric view of a sphere is being drawn. So, you have to memorize this particular method, whereas in the case of isometric projection this is being reversed. In the case of isometric projection, you can see in the case of isometric projection you are having the same figure. Okay. So, here in the isometric view, here we are taking the distance R. This distance was R in the case of isometric view. Here the distance is being multiplied by 0.816, and I am repeating, this point is the central point of the line AB. Okay. So, from that point you have to take the distance R into 0.816, and from that point you have to take the radius of the circle and then complete drawing the circle. So, this is the way by which isometric view as well as isometric projection of the sphere is being drawn. So, now we can see a question. In this question we are asked to draw the isometric projection of a sphere, okay, which is being centrally placed over a cube. Okay. So, the cube is being placed in the base, the top view of the cube is a square, the front view will also be a square as the side is being stated as 80 mm. So, in the top of the cube we are placing a sphere, and the diameter of the sphere is 50 mm. The top view of the sphere as well as the front view of the sphere is both will be circles. Okay. So, the methodology was being explained before. Okay. So, firstly we are first thing is to draw the XY line, and after drawing the XY line we are firstly drawing the top view as well as front view of the cube. So, the top view of the cube will be a square of 80 mm diameter. Here it is scaled over to 40 mm or 4 centimeter, and then projecting over to it, then we are drawing the square again, which shows the front view of the cube. After completing that, we are drawing the top view of the sphere, which is a circle of radius 25 mm diameter. Here it is been scaled to half value, okay. And in the front view also, the figure will be a sphere. So, after that, just by drawing the usual methodology by which you are using the isometric projection, for isometric projection, what you need to draw? You need to draw the isometric scale. Okay. So, how we are drawing the isometric scale? So, for isometric scale, you have to draw a horizontal line, you have to draw a 30-degree line, okay. Then you have to draw a 45-degree line, and whichever actual dimensions you are taking over to it in the 45-degree line, we are projecting by using a perpendicular, and if this represents D, then this represents D1. For every dimension that you are taking in isometric view, or the correct dimensions are drawn over to 45-degree line, the shrinked dimension or the lesser value will be taken on the 30-degree line. So, by taking these measurements, we are drawing the isometric projection of the cube. So, with that measurements, you are completing the cube, okay, okay. So, the method of drawing the isometric projections of the cube, or the method of drawing the isometric views of the cube, was explained earlier. So, later this we know this AB line, this represents the AB line. So, on this AB line, as projection is being asked, you have to take the distance, R into 0.816. Okay. So, from this point you have to take the distance R into 0.816. From this point you have to take the radius and complete the sphere. And this much points are to be darkened. The inside point of the portion that comes inside portion of the sphere are invisible. So, only this line as well as this line are to be drawn as darker lines. The other lines are invisible and they are not to be drawn. So, this will be the complete final answer for the isometric projection of a sphere. So, this method by which we are following in a sphere is to be memorized, so that this type of questions where isometrics of spheres are being asked can be very easily solved. Thank you.